Ladies and gentlemen, you already know where you're at right now. This is the place to be. I always like to bring guests on the show. Not only that's going to give you the gang, but somebody right now, if you ain't got your pen, your pad, your paper, if you're not ready for this, I want you to prepare yourself because we are going to learn about how to live tax-free with none other than my guy. Welcome to the show. Carter Cofield is in the building. What's going on, fam?
What's good, King? How you doing, man? Long time no see. So glad we got a chance to get connected in LA, man. And now here we are. So I'm super excited to be here.
Absolutely, man. Listen, man, we were in LA. We had some amazing food. Charles Jenkins stopped by. We were doing a whole bunch of behind the scenes, man. So glad to have met you out in LA. Actually, was in Beverly Hills too. And Beverly Hills is kind of bougie, by the way. But
Yeah,
hey,
man, we're in Bel Air. Beverly Hills. Like, that's the bougiest of the bougie. Outside of Calabasas, we're like in the most bougie part of LA.
absolutely, man. I think we had like the lamb chops, all type of stuff, man, and the macaroni. But listen, I'm getting hungry just thinking about it. But I met you and I was like, you know what? I gotta get them on the podcast because when you think about our audience and the people that listen to this show, they're either entrepreneurs who are crushing in their business, or perhaps that needs the game. And what better topic to talk about than taxes? But before we do that, I want to jump back, right? Just jump back real quick. Take me to the young Carter Cofield. Like, take me to the young man growing up. Where you from?
So I'm from the South Side of Chicago, man. It was 9 of us in a 3-bedroom home, on the South Side. And what's crazy about growing up broke is that you don't really know how broke you are because all your friends broke too. So it's kind of like, we don't really know. We just all having fun, and we made the most out of the situation, man. But coming out of that, the South Side has some mindset shifts where like you kind of don't believe that you could become better than your circumstances. So I was just blessed to have like mentors around me and people around me that actually like, yo, you can like just get out of here. And for me, it was a journey, but fast forward, I can't believe some of the stuff I accomplished, and more important, the lives that I've been able to impact coming from that area to where I'm at now.
Man, it's crazy, right? Like South Side Chicago. I mean, to make it out of there, that's impressive. But to do what you're doing, and I say, I look at you like an educator, fam. If you guys already, one thing about our audience, they scroll to the bottom. They're already clicking the show notes, whether they're watching us on YouTube or perhaps they're listening to us on Spotify or Apple. They're already going through your profile, and if you go through your profile and the videos that you drop, they're so educational, but also about taxes. But what led you down that path? Why jump into that particular space?
No, it's funny, man. So I always want to learn about money because I knew money was out there, but I knew we didn't have it, right? So I was curious about like money, how money works, and I don't know if I told you this. My mom died when I was 14, and my dad died when I was 16, right? So I graduated, I graduated high school around the recession. So I'm looking at like, yo, what field has the lowest unemployment rate? Because I can't afford to major in something that I'm not going to be able to get employed in because I don't have a fallback plan. And CPA was the number one job with the lowest unemployment rate because I don't care what you're doing, you're going to need somebody to help you with taxes. So I dove down that road and I found out like, bro, like taxes is everyone's number one expense. Everyone. The average person pays 40% of their lifetime income in taxes. Think about that. Like most people end up making $1 million over their lifetime. You're giving away $400,000 that you worked hard for, right? So it brought me down this path of just learning, like, all right, with those wealthy people, like Steve Jobs, Bill Gates, Elon Musk, who like these are wealthy people that don't pay taxes. Like, how are they accumulating all this money, but their tax bill is lower than the average person? Like Warren Buffett, the greatest investor of all time, his tax rate is lower than his secretary's.
How's that
Right?
even possible?
So so a lot of things. I'll give you all the game on taxes, but one of the main things you need to know is how you make money determines how much taxes you pay. So active income, if you're making money through a business actively, you have to pay ordinary income taxes. However, if you make money passively through like long-term stocks or long-term buy and hold rental properties, you're at a different tax rate than ordinary income taxes. So it's not just about making money, it's about how you make money, you know?
That's a bar. That's a bar. 'Cause right now, someone right now is about to say, "Listen, I'm about to try to figure out how to get this passive income." And you know, what I like about it is that you got to a space, you did your research, right? A lot of people just jump into a new business, jump into a new idea without any research. You're like, you know, I can't, I got no fallback plan, right? You had to really become a man, you know, at a young age. And one of the things that I like about that you talk about taxes is the way you can live tax free. You know, here in this podcast, we like to give away the game. So I already went through a bunch of your videos, right? And I like your videos. I feel like I never know what's going to happen. You know, I gave you a crazy idea. We'll talk about that later on.
Hey, I just shot that idea last week, actually. So it'll be loaded. Okay.
Oh, listen, I can't wait. We'll get an audience idea. But I want to break down taxes right now. Some of your, I like to call them my favorite viral videos regarding taxes. You had a couple of videos. Let's run down them. The first one I want to talk about is how to live tax-free Airbnb, because a lot of people travel all the time. We look at the Airbnbs, we just swiping our cards, but how can we do that?
So before that, let me give you all the foundation. I think it's so important for your audience to understand the foundation before we can get into the tips. So number one, the tax code was made to benefit entrepreneurs and business owners, right? If you're an employee, you're not on the right team. And I tell people all the time, the tax code is like a game, and in order to win any game, you have to be on the right team. So the tax code was made to benefit entrepreneurs and business owners because every job that we create is a job that the government doesn't have to create. Every job that we create is one more person off welfare. So they say because you're a business owner, you get to deduct all expenses associated with operating your business. So for you, Shawn, you have this podcast equipment, right? All the stuff in your office that helps you make money in your business. These are all tax deductible items. So what I teach is like, hey guys, if we take a moment and think about it, there's a way that we can make majority of our expenses, right? Tax deduction. That's how you can live tax free. So the Airbnb play goes like this. If you own an Airbnb, and so let's say I'm in LA, right? So let's say I own an Airbnb in Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
Every time I fly to Chicago, I'm going to check on my property, right? So therefore, the flight I take to Chicago is tax deductible. Any Ubers I take to my property is tax deductible. And you know, if I have to stay somewhere else because my property is occupied, that lodging, hotels is tax deductible as well. So one of the hacks that people can do is I tell people all the time, go get an Airbnb in your favorite cities. So that when you go to Miami, when you go to California, when you go to Atlanta, every time you go there, it's tax deductible because you have a property that you can go check on.
Oh, that's a bar. That's a bar. I mean, because you think about it, right? If you're going to check on your property, you're operating in your business. So let's keep this list going. This is good. So tax-free hotel stay, because a lot of people right now are saying, hey, I want to book this vacation, or I want to go, you know, I want to go to whatever exotic place there is. How can we have tax-free in our hotel stays?
Yeah, so I think you all actually did it. I don't know if you realized you were doing it when you and Harry came out to LA, right?
Yeah.
You all came out to LA. Let's say y'all was coming to LA just to kick it, right? That would be a personal trip, and that would not be tax deductible. But what she did is she found some business activity in Los Angeles to make the trip now a business trip. So one of the hacks I give people is like, if you're about to go to LA for somebody's birthday, y'all flying in on Saturday, leaving on Sunday, it's a quick birthday trip. I would encourage you to make that trip a business trip by simply flying in on Friday and leaving on Monday. And when you fly in on Friday and leave on Monday, all you have to do as a business owner is to find business activity on those weekdays. And like, so that could be recording a podcast, that could be taking a client out to lunch, that could be going to a conference, a workshop, right? The moment you have a business activity in that city, that's now a 100% business trip. So now you can write off what was going to be a personal hotel is now a business hotel, right? What
Mm-hmm.
was going to be a personal meal is now a business meal, which was going to be a personal flight, but now they're business flights. So you're able to turn these personal trips into business trips by simply taking a step back and saying, hey, how can I find some business activity in this state? And Shawn, you know people everywhere. You're one of the most plugged people I know. So all you got to do before you go anywhere is say, hey, do I know a business partner or a homie I can connect with? You go out there, y'all have dinner, you keep the receipt, you take a photo of y'all at dinner. That's all documentation, and now you made that trip tax deductible.
Oh man, listen, I like this. I know the audience, right? They're saying, you know what, Shawn, listen, we gonna pause the episode, we gonna save it, we gonna come back to it. They probably already trying to figure out how they can work with you. But listen, I know tax season is over, so y'all you gotta wait. I'm gonna give you the game. We're gonna continue to give you the game. Let's break this down, man. So you're already giving the tips, right? One of the ones that I personally liked, and I know the audience will like, is we all want to, buy the designer, buy the Gucci, buy the Louis, buy whatever we want, but we don't know how to get it with tax free or make it seem, as if we're doing the right things. We just swipe our cards. One of the videos that you created was a tax free, and we're gonna have all these videos, guys. We're gonna have the links in the show notes. Tax free shopping spree. How do we pull the shopping spree trip off tax free?
See, this is one of my favorite hacks, and I always have to preface it because I don't want to get me or anybody else in trouble, right? So there are a few ways that you need to do this to make sure you do it properly, okay? Because IRS used to be very much against you writing off clothes, like unless it was a costume, like they wasn't going for it, right? But then I always back up my tax hacks with court cases. So there was a court case with this gentleman. He owned a suit company, and he was writing off all of his suits because every suit that he made, he would get his logo stitched on it because he was like a walking marketing piece for his company. And he went to court. IRS, like, we noticed your clothing expense was really high. You can't write off clothes. And his argument was, every time I stitch my logo on my suits, it brings me more business. So this is actually an advertising cost. And after the court case, he ended up winning. So the IRS had to go alter the ruling and say, if you go shopping and get your company logo visibly stitched on the garment, then that garment is now a tax deductible expense. So if you were to go get for example, Nike jogging suits, the Nike Tech Fits is like $200, right?
Yep.
I love wearing them. You got a Nike shirt on right now.
Yep.
So what me and my business partners did, we owned a company called Melanin Money. And so we got our Melanin Money logo stitched on the opposite side of the Nike sign and stitched on the pants. And that made, not only did it make the clothes tax deductible, but the stitching cost is tax deductible as well. And every time you take the garment to the cleaners, that is a tax deductible expense as well. So now you got a three-way tax benefit for going shopping, something you would do anyway.
Oh man, that's a bar in itself, right? Even to the cleaners, I didn't even think about that, right? even to the cleaners, like you can't just get your stuff, logoed and just throw it in the dryer. You gotta really.
Yeah, that's a nice garment right there. You know what I'm saying? Like you get the suit, you get the the SONW right there with the cap at the end. And then boom, now not only are you looking clean, but you're marketing your business at the same time.
Yeah, so next time y'all catch me in the airport and I'm SONW out, you already know who to blame.
Hey, look, man, I want to spread the word, and I want you to look good doing it.
Facts. Listen, let's keep it going, man. This is good because I know people right now are writing stuff down. I have, this one was kind of funny for me because I think it's one of those special times. You only got one time a year to do this one, and it's the how to write off your next B-Day. So let's break this down because I know right now the Geminis are getting ready. So how do we do this?
Yeah, man. So this play was actually given to me by my mentor, man. Just a quick aside: if you don't have a mentor in every important aspect of your life, like you are in the slow lane to becoming the person you want to be, right? So, I had a birthday coming up. And I was talking to one of my tax mentors, and he gave me this play on how to write up your birthday. And when he gave me this, like, I dropped my pen and paper and had to walk off because it was such a gangster play. I'm like, bro, I'm running this every year. So here's how you do it, right? If you have an LLC or S corporation, right, you can have what's called an annual meeting every year. And within this annual meeting, you can invite your board of advisors, some of your business partners, whatever, and you all can strategize on how to improve the current year and improve the future year. So, Shawn, let me ask you this before I even go deeper. Are most of your friends entrepreneurs?
Majority, yes, they are.
Exactly. Because once you become an entrepreneur, you're just in the world. So majority of my friends are entrepreneurs. Not only are they entrepreneurs, we do business together, whether I hire them for their services or we own businesses together. Because at this age, bro, if you could be my homie, we got to be breaking bread together. That's just what it is.
I like that.
So if you do business with any of your friends or they're on your board of advisors, right, you can invite them to this annual meeting. And your annual meeting can be anywhere you want it to be. So for my 30th birthday, my annual meeting was in beautiful Medellin, Colombia.
Oh, wow.
Right? and we rented out a penthouse. It was like a 10-bedroom, 10-bathroom penthouse. And I invited 7 or 8 of my business partners, and I actually paid for the whole Airbnb because it's my company's annual meeting, right? So every day we came together in the living room. I still got the pictures right now. We had a 2-hour mastermind session every day, right? I took notes, took meeting minutes, took documentation, took attendance, and we took photos of each day. So now, in case of an audit, we have proof that for these 5 days, it was Cofield Advisors annual meeting. Here are the people that were in attendance. Here are the business that we do together. Here's the meeting minutes. And here are photos. So we legitimately turned my birthday into a tax deductible trip. And peep game, we only had meetings for 2 hours. We were outside the rest of the time. We was outside the rest of the time. So guys, I want you all to be. And here's the thing, Shawn. Like I tell people all the time, if you want to pay less tax, simply change the facts, right? So I changed the facts of me going having a birthday out the country to me having an annual meeting, and just by me shifting that narrative a bit, I was able to save. I think the whole thing cost me about $5,000 or $10,000. I was able to get a $10,000 write off for enjoying my birthday, having a great time, and I was making money on the trip as well. So because I was documenting the journey, so it was a great time, and I encourage everybody to run this play. I don't get this away for free a lot. Everybody needs to run this play.
Oh man, listen, I'm already trying to figure out when you saying, like, okay, we can go do this, we can go do that. I'm trying to figure out how I can be a Cofield advisor. like these guys go to Colombia, but it makes sense, right? It makes sense to kind of like really sit back and say, you know what, all right, we're gonna go here, we're gonna do this, but that documentation is key. And I want my audience to really capture, what Carter Cofield is up here talking about today. And that is, you got to have the documentation, take the photos. You never know when you're going to have an audit, and for me, you may not know this, right? I know you've been a full-time entrepreneur for 6 years. For me, I became a full-time entrepreneur in August last year. And I remember, yeah,
bro, I feel like with your network, your expertise in 200 episodes, bro, I feel like you've been in the game longer than me.
Listen. I was before this. I was my audience knows this. Before this, I was a brand manager for huge companies. I was a brand manager for Target. Before that, I was a brand manager for Macy's. Then I was a brand manager for Belk. And now, obviously, I'm brand managing a lot of people and running the show and the podcast and helping people build podcasts.
Killing it, by the way.
Well, I appreciate that, fam. But for me, when I think about it, right, I remember doing my taxes just a couple months ago, and I remember sitting down, my CPA, and I kind of felt like a young Dolph lyric. The young Dolph lyric was, I just had a conversation with my CPA, and boy, I've been eating. And what I mean by that is, I went over 6 figures as a side hustle. And the reason I'm saying that right now, and the reason I wanted to have you on this show, is because a lot of people have side hustles that will become their main hustle, but they don't know these different things you're teaching us right now on the podcast. They don't know that you can, have the tax-free Airbnbs. They don't know you can have the annual meeting and sit down with, people who are in your company. They don't know about the hotel stay. So this has been crazy information. But one of the things you got to think about, right, when you start a new business is like, how am I going to have the devices? So let's talk about this. And the reason I say this one for one of the last questions I have about tax-free is because when you look at all the devices you have, what are some more tips or strategies that you can give our audience when they're trying to have tax-deductible devices?
And first of all, I want your audience to thank you because due to your great questions, they are giving away. They're getting a lot of game. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Great answers require great questions to be asked. I want to first give you kudos on that. So
appreciate it.
Here's the thing, right? Like, again, it's all about creativity, right? So I had one post of how you can turn each toy that you own into a tax deduction simply by making sure you use it for some business use. So I'm gonna go through a few items and we can talk about how to make them tax deductible, right?
Let's do it.
So your computer, right? If you have everybody has a computer. If you're checking emails on your computer, if you're doing work on your computer is a tax deductible expense. Same thing with your cell phone, right? The moment you start taking business calls, the moment you start, operating your business with your phone, which everybody does, your phone is now tax deductible. But we can get to some funner ones, right? Apple Watch, right? Because you can check your email and you can schedule appointments and everything on your Apple Watch, because it's such an intuitive device for business, your Apple Watch is tax deductible as well. And most people do not know that, right? Let's take it further. A drone, right? Most people like a drone is personal, like, it's just for fun. No, if you're shooting marketing content videos with your drone is now a business expense, because it's helping you with your marketing, it's helping you with your branding, it's helping you with your social media, right? So now your drone is a tax deductible expense as well. Cameras, I know you probably have dope cameras in your office. So like the list goes on. Like you take a moment to think about, how can I use this device for business and not personal use? Then you can shift it from the category of personal to business. And I love what you said about the side hustle thing, because Shawn, I think, and people, I get pushed back on this, but I'm still a firm believer. Everybody should at least have a side hustle. I'm not telling anybody to go quit their job. I'm saying that everybody should at least have a side hustle, because whatever your job is paying you to do from 9 to 5, somebody else will gladly pay you to do from 5 to 9, right? Yep. You were a brand manager. You did it from 9 to 5. Now people need you outside of work. So now you've been doing brand management for people outside of work. So I think people need to tap into their genius and start a side hustle, because once you start the side hustle, a lot of your personal expenses become business expenses immediately.
Facts.
Right? Cell phone, immediately. Internet, immediately. Home office, immediately. Your car, immediately. I'm not telling anybody to go spend more money. I'm telling them that the money they're already spending can become a write-off once they start paying it through their business, but they have to first have a side hustle or business to take advantage of.
Man, this is a bar, powerful, right? Like I'm with you on that. Everyone has that, and I think that was one of the biggest aha for me. So I'm like, hold on, we can roll with the business side on this one. Yes, you can. You're hearing it, from Carter himself today on the podcast. Listen, I want to ask you the question, and we asked this question to everybody who's been on the podcast, right? Whether, they dropped out of college, whether, or perhaps, they got their degree, still don't know what to do with it. But they were asking themselves the question of the podcast: school's over, now what? What advice would Carter Cofield give?
It's really simple. School is not the end of your educational journey. It's the beginning of your educational journey. So many people think like, and I was one of them too. Like once they graduate, like, oh, my learning stops now. No, like that's when your learning begins, right? School teaches you how to learn, right? That's the point. It teaches you how to learn. So now you have to take those learnings from school and start reading books, start going to workshops, start going to conferences, start putting yourself in rooms. So once I understood that school was not the end of my education, it was just the beginning, I started to level up, and I started to replace entertainment with education. So for every hour of music, I replaced it with an hour of podcasting. Every hour of TV, I replaced it with an hour of reading. And I started to see myself level up beyond anything that school could take me, because it's just it's the beginning of your educational journey and not the end.
Oh man, that's a bar, man. Listen, you gotta listen today to this episode, write down the notes, replace all that entertainment at least with 1 hour education. Listen, Carter, I appreciate you for being on the show right now. People want to know more about you. Just give us all your social media platforms and where we can find you.
Got you. So it's Cofield_advisor on all social media platforms. And I have a gift for your audience. I just set this up before our call. If they text the word tax to 312-847-2309, I'm going to give them one of my ultimate tax saving ebooks. I'm going to give it to them for free. So again, text the word tax to 312-847-2309, and you all get this free tax saving guide where I take you a lot deeper into the things that we talked about today.
Oh, that's a bar. Listen, guys, make sure you get that guide, fam. Make sure you get that guide. Make sure you text that number. And for those of you that have been listening, always remember, dream it, believe it, go out and get it. Hey, what's up, fam? Thanks for watching. Don't forget, hit that subscribe button, smash that like button. We'll see you next week here at School's Over Now What. And always remember, dream it, believe it, go out and get it.